There is a certain kind of magic that we gardeners get to perform, a quiet alchemy that transforms the very nature of our plants. One of the most fascinating of these is the art of grafting. It might sound terribly scientific, and perhaps a little intimidating, but at its heart, it is a simple, beautiful, and profoundly hopeful act. Grafting is the process of joining two separate plants together so that they will grow as one. Imagine taking a small branch, a cutting from a tree that produces the most wonderfully sweet apples, and joining it to a sturdy, disease-resistant root system. This union, this horticultural marriage, allows the new branch to thrive and eventually produce those same delicious apples, all while benefiting from the strength of its new foundation. The rewards are ripe. One of the most compelling reasons to learn how to graft is for propagation, especially with fruit trees. Many of our favorite fruit varieties, like the Cox's orange pippin apple or the Victoria plum, do not grow true to type from seed. If you were to plant a pip from one of these apples, the resulting tree would be a genetic lottery. It might produce small, sour fruit or something else entirely different from its parent. Grafting is a form of cloning, and it is the only way to guarantee that the new plant will be an exact replica of the original, preserving all those desirable characteristics we love. It is how nurseries have produced reliable fruit trees for centuries, ensuring every conference pear you buy is in fact a conference pear. Before you begin, it's crucial to gather all your tools and materials. Having everything clean and ready to hand makes the process smoother and increases your chances of success. The most important tool is an incredibly sharp knife. A specialized grafting knife with a single-sided beveled blade is ideal. It allows for very clean, flat cuts. A very sharp Stanley knife can also work, or a good quality craft knife with a fresh blade. The key is sharpness. A dull blade will crush delicate tissues and can prevent the graft from healing. Always handle knives with care. Next, you'll need something to bind the graft union securely. Raffia, traditional. Grafting tape, slightly stretchy. Clear polythene tape and electrical tape can substitute. The goal, a tight, firm binding that prevents movement. To protect the fresh wound, you'll need a sealing compound. Apply it over the binding and any exposed cuts. Keep secateurs sharp and sterilize blades before you start and between grafts. Success in grafting begins long before you make the first cut. It starts with the careful selection of both your scion and your rootstock. Your scion, your rootstock. The most important rule is compatibility. You can only graft plants that are closely related. Apple scion onto apple rootstock. Pear onto pear rootstock. Stone fruits can sometimes be mixed. Plum scion onto cherry rootstock. Success varies. You cannot graft an apple onto a pear, or a plum onto an apple. Keep it within the family. Closer relation, better union. When selecting scion wood, healthy, vigorous, straight, one-year-old wood about the thickness of a pencil with several dormant leaf buds, no fruit buds. Collect during dormancy, usually January to early March. Trim into 6 to 8 inch sections, if not grafting now. Wrap in a damp paper towel. Place in a plastic bag. Keep them in the refrigerator crisper drawer. Choosing your rootstock is equally critical. Buy certified, disease-free rootstock. These are sold by eventual tree size. The nursery can advise. For top working, choose a young, healthy, well-placed branch. Match diameter to align the cambium. Now we come to the moment of union. There are many different types of grafting cuts, but one of the most straightforward and reliable for beginners is the cleft graft. It's particularly useful when your rootstock is slightly thicker than your scion. First, take your prepared rootstock, the trimmed stem of the young tree, or the branch you are grafting onto. Using your sharp grafting knife, carefully make a vertical slit straight down through the center of the cut surface of the rootstock. Go about 2 to 3 inches deep. You've now created a cleft, a V-shaped opening. You can gently wedge the cleft open slightly with a clean screwdriver or the wedge tool on your grafting knife to make inserting the scion easier. Next, you must prepare your scion. Take one of your 6-inch scion sticks, which should have 2 good buds on it, or 3 good buds on it. At the bottom end of the scion, you're going to carve a long, tapering wedge. Make the first clean cut about 2 inches, then the second, opposing cut the same length. Imagine you are sharpening a pencil, but creating a much longer, flatter point. Try to make each cut with a single smooth stroke of the knife for the cleanest possible surface. This wedge should be shaped to fit snugly into the cleft you have just made in the rootstock. The precision of this shaping is key to a good final result. Now for the most critical part of the entire process: aligning the cambium layers. The cambium is a very thin layer of green, actively growing tissue just beneath the bark. This is the lifeblood of the plant, and for the graft to take, the cambium of the scion must be in direct contact with the cambium of the rootstock. Carefully insert the wedge-shaped end of your scion into the cleft in the rootstock. Since your scion is likely thinner than the rootstock, you cannot align both sides. Slide it to one side so the outer bark edges line up perfectly. This ensures those vital cambium layers are touching. Once the scion is firmly in place, take your grafting tape and begin wrapping it tightly around the union, starting just below and working up. Overlap to create a firm, waterproof seal without any wobble. Finally, cover the wrapped area completely and dab a small amount of wax on the scion tip. Your part in the surgery is over, but your role as a nurse has just begun. The period immediately following the graft is a delicate time, and proper aftercare is essential. The first and most important thing to do is to label your graft, variety and date on a simple label tied loosely below the union. For weeks, protect it from being knocked or jostled. Place a tall stake to give support and act as a visible marker. It helps prevent you, your family, your pets from bumping into it. Birds may try to perch on the new scion, hang shiny foil or an old CD nearby to deter them. Be patient. It can take several weeks for the graft to take. The first sign is bud swelling, then bud break, then tiny new leaves. This is a moment of pure joy. It means the vascular tissues have connected and the rootstock is supplying the scion. Manage growth from the rootstock. Rub off or snip any shoots or suckers below the graft. They compete and can overwhelm your scion. Keep soil moist, especially in dry spells. Tape should stretch or degrade, but if it cuts into swelling bark, carefully slit it opposite the graft to release pressure. By late summer, your graft should be well on its way, a testament to your skill and the beginning of a fruitful partnership. Knowing when to graft is just as important as knowing how to graft. The ideal timing depends on the plant and technique. For apples and pears, the best time is early spring, March to April in the northern hemisphere, sap rising but before leaves. Rootstock waking, energy high. Scions collected midwinter and kept dormant. Timing is crucial for cleft and whip and tongue grafts. Too early, both dormant, wounds may dry. Too late. Scion breaking and rootstock in leaf. Higher failure. Stone fruits are canker-prone in cool, damp spring. Better to graft in summer, July to August. Budding is common. So, pome fruits, March, April. Stone fruits, July, August. Check variety advice, but this framework is reliable. Let's talk about some classic combinations to get you started. Apples are the easiest and most forgiving for beginners. A wide range of rootstocks gives you incredible control. Example: Katie on M.27 for approximately 1, 5M container tree. M.26 for approximately 2, 5-3M bush trees. Pears, Quince A approximately 3-4M, Quince C for espaliers. Plums on St. Julian A, Pixie for dwarfing. Cherries on Gisela 5, approximately 2M and pot-friendly. Try Concord to Quince C in spring and Stella to Gisela 5 in summer. Do not be disheartened if your first few attempts fail. Grafting improves with practice. Order more rootstocks and collect more scions than you need. A razor-sharp knife is effective and dangerous. Cut away from your body and keep fingers clear. Sit at a stable table for fine cuts. Sheath knives and store away from children. Remember the mantra: cleanliness, sharpness, contact. Sterile tools, clean cuts, firm cambium contact. Take your time. This is a mindful, deliberate process. Buds swell, fruit follows, one of gardening's deepest satisfactions.